Well, we are now live in what's known as a Q&A. This is a recording where I've set a goal to do at least 20 questions per week. We break down into reels and shorts. So this is the unedited version, and then our video editor edits it. So you get to see the unfiltered version. There'll be times where Siri will talk, kick in, I'll hear emails, and I'll be like, "Rah!" So this will be probably a laugh for some of you because this is a bit awkward, as some would say, but we're going to do it anyway. That is not the questions, that is the trash can. So you can see on the screen a whole bunch of things are open now. So let's dive in to the Q&A. So question number one, how to train for a triathlon on a budget? Well, for a triathlon, you need swimwear, running shoes, and a bike. So find out what is the most cost-effective way and get those three things done. And then from a training perspective, like most people will do it themselves. I recommend getting a coach. Average coach is anywhere between coach for I think $8 on Upwork or Viber, and there's ones that are $8,000. So price can vary on the one. Budget wise, I think anything under $50 maybe a bit of a disservice. So looking around 90 to 150 for a good coach with check-ins, programs, accountability. You could even just go on some Googles or even YouTube nowadays. It's got all the resources there and just punch it in and off you go. So one, good running shoes, effective bike, and swimwear. You go to Binny's, they might have some good stuff. For shoes, it's hard to tell. You should obviously go to a shoe shop that tests and measures some of the shoes, because if you don't get a good pair, you're gonna get blisters, and that sucks. So make it worthwhile. Number two, how to make the most of your gym membership. Go an average of 4 or 5 times a week. Regularly get health checks or assessments every 90 days, reestablish and align your goals. Sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't. And film yourself. So get your phone out, record your form, go to a forum group. There is Anytime Sydney Sport Group, which I'm the admin of, and you just post your video there and we give you feedback. That's how you get the most out of it. How do trainers create personalized, with an S, not a Z, programs based on individual goals and fitness? Good question. So the first thing to do is understand where you are, where you've been. So for example, if doing squats causes you pain, guess what? We won't be doing squats. So personalized plan is based around your movement. So we assess the movement, what's worked in the past, and how your body's going at the moment. Then we go through a few exercises, correctives to establish baseline strength. So, pretty much most people, when grabbing onto a pull-up bar, can't hang for 60 seconds. So we get them to work on that. So a reason why a lot of people can't do the big movements is because they're actually lacking strength in the smaller movements. Smaller movements can be in skill, not in just bicep curls. So establishing your baseline and then also building your foundation and checking every 4 weeks. You'll find every 6 to 8 sessions, sometimes 10, so 6 to 10, find if you've done that many sessions, you'll start to hit a plateau, or you've progressed in that movement and it's time to change. So create a personalized plan based off your weaknesses and limitations. 2, to do that, you have to do an assessment. And 3, consistently checking in every 4 to 6 weeks, changing the variables. And that could be as simple, for example, if you're doing dumbbell press, like a pronated grip, you could literally change to a neutral grip, because that'll change the angle at which your shoulders move and your arms move. Enjoy. 10 weight loss tips that will help you torch calories in record time. Number 1, have a plan. Number 2, weigh your food. 3, track your macros. 4, assess and establish changes every week. You can do every 5 days, what's known as a 3-2 method. I like. It's 3 days a little bit more food, 2 days a little less. You need to titrate that up. 6, add chilies, because that'll increase the metabolic rate. 7, get your minimum water intake. Find your body weight, times it by 0.035, and that's your water intake. 8, sleeping 7 to 9 hours every day, well, typically at night. 9, coffee can be your friend, but don't abuse it. So usually have 1 coffee in the morning. That'll help with energy, but also your NEAT. And 10, track your steps and gradually increase your step intake or your cardio intake. And that means if you start at 10,000 steps a day, then next week do 12,000, then 14, and titrating it up probably every 4 to 6 weeks. Give yourself a deload week, reset, and go again. Next, keep your wrists safe. Safety first, bench press. That's open question. But imagine when you bench press. So when you're doing bench press, a lot of people when benching, they think they need to hold the bar here. Now, if you look directly there, it doesn't actually stack itself on top of the arms. There's a thing called a bull grip. So you actually pull back and the bar sits here right on top of the joint. So just check when you're grabbing onto a bar, how you're actually grabbing. A little tip. So when you go up, don't just kind of go hands up and grab it. Go up, push the palm in, and then grab. So see, slight deviation, that's the bull grip versus on top, because that'll overload your flexors. Next is how to set up your own personal training routine. Get a personal trainer. Aha! It's that simple. How to set up your personal training routine? Get a trainer. Or you can go on the internet and look up programs. But just understand the reason for personal training is to have that accountability and support. That's what makes the difference. So if you feel personal, you're someone who likes to take notes, notepads, set intentions and goals for yourself, and see how you go. When you hit a plateau and you're like, I don't know what to do, reach out to someone. I recommend Vitruvian Health. But there are many out there. You've got Enterprise, Clean Health, you've got MPH, you've got GT, Health and Fitness and Performance. There's Ultimate Performance. There's a whole lot of companies out there. I obviously have a personal bias, but I've learned from those people as well. So recommend them as well. So you should really be going based off your personality. How to train your body for better physical activity. Start with one thing at a time. Often people are like, I need to do these 10 things. And at the end of the week, they go, I only did 3 things. Cool. You suck. Oh, I fail. Still suck. Or you do one thing and then you go, I didn't do it. Still suck, but it doesn't suck as much. So let's be realistic with ourselves and be honest. Just look. And one thing that I've started to realize for myself, think of it this way. Reframe the way you look at how to build your foundation, how to get better and how to train, is you are the most unluckiest person on the planet. Whatever you do is going to fail the first time around. Every time you do something, it's going to fail, no matter what you do. But what if nope, you're going to fail. You're the most unluckiest person in the world. Joe Blow next to you is going to be adding a kilo a week. Too bad, you're adding a kilo every 2 to 3 weeks. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll start, and the sooner you'll probably take a slower approach with the things that you do in your physical health and well-being. But at the end of the day, people that progress the fastest tend to stop the fastest. So if you're the most unluckiest person and you're progressing very, very slowly, you're probably in 2-3 years' time going to be further ahead than everyone else. Just like investing. Like a lot of people, you see all the people, it's all fast money, invest slowly over time. Like, what do I hear? Like if you invested 5,000 30 years or 40 years, the compounding interest and everything over time would lead to over $1 million. But the thing is, you would have only invested 250K, 300K into that in your entire life from 18 to 65. So we do the numbers on that. 5,000 times retirement is say 45 years. That's 225 grand. But with compounding interest on that, why wouldn't you take your time slowly? Yes, there are faster ways, and I am not an investment banker, so this is not financial advice. It's just to point out, slow game will win too. Next up, learn how to do the ultimate personal training workout on your own in the Sydney CBD, www.vitruvianhealth.com.au. It was that simple. From stuck to skipping, a beginner's guide to personal training, how to connect with a personal trainer. Usually if you're in a gym with trainers that are supportive and on with it, they'll probably reach out to you. They'll SMS, they'll call. Though if you are stuck and you're looking for help, I recommend that you follow and just observe certain trainers. So if you see a trainer who's always on their phone and always coaching people for personal training, I'm going to go to that guy. Maybe ask about their results, their strategy, their plan. So we have a 24-week process. Assess, build your foundation, bulletproof your body, get strong, mobile, then start to work on all the fancy stuff like drop sets, clusters, wave loading, descending methods, pyramids, up-down method, speed work, chains, bands, eccentric clips, earthquake bars. Like there's all these fancy things that help. But if your foundation's crumbled, like what's the point of doing all this fancy stuff? Just like split squats, 3 sets of 20, 3 sets of 10 of hamstring curls, 45-degree back extension, incline press, like 45 degrees, get a pause at the bottom, get the stretch, seated row, face pulls, and then some arm work if you like. If you want a little more glute, do more hip extensions. But then do some core work, take you about an hour, and that would be a good foundation you could do 3 times a week. To help with weight loss, do 3 times 30 minutes of cardio at a moderate pace, build it up over time. Like ask for these things, like what would be those plans that people would do? And do you resonate with it or not? Don't be sold by the gimmicks. That's how you can connect with the trainer, look at their results and how they would operate. What is active release technique? How does it differ? So ART stands for active release technique, also known as a pin and stretch. The idea is that a lot of people will massage a muscle. So my pecs are tight, so we'll massage it. Now the pec itself, its job is to obviously support that shoulder in that lengthened position and help contract to pull it back up. Now, if I'm feeling restriction or adhesions and popping and tendon clicking over, it could be because the pec's tight. Now, put in a shortened position, we pin, traction. So pin and stretch, we don't traction, we just pin it, and then we would move through it. All right. ART goes a step further and looks at different places or looks at the muscle where it's stuck, and we look to kind of maneuver that or traction to get that muscle to be more open and free. So like unsticking the fascia and the muscle so we can move more freely. But also, if we think about the muscle, if it's this long, we tension it to this, and then we work it through that range, it eventually thinks it's a little bit longer. So when we release that tension, we actually have more range. So we're restoring dysfunction to movement, which is awesome. Other therapies are great. Massages, they're good for recovery, your tissue, but the pin and stretch and ART is good for restoring movement in the session. So it's really great for athletes and gym goers that are in the gym training. You wake up, feel it's a way to work through that rather than forcing through pain. That's why I love it. Also, it really helped me. Like before I got into ART, I was like seeing chiros, also seeing a whole bunch of people. I blew 2 of my lumbar discs, tore my adductors, hamstrings, deadlifting. I was really deadlifting 100. I used to deadlift like 240 way back in the day. Can't do that at the moment. I haven't done it for ages. I guess probably out of fear, really saying that loud. So I found personally ART is what helped restore the movement. Like I used to go to this gym, would just walk in, flop on the ground, do finger push-ups, and just strengthen my hands. And obviously I got good at handstands. Problem is I couldn't use my lower body, and I was like the humpback of Notre Dame for months. But what got me to be able to walk again was ART 2-3 times a week, coupled with physio and the osteos and the chiros. It's really, really debilitating. Like I would wake up, lay in bed for an hour, going, okay, I can't get up. And I would wake my partner up. She would go again. I'm like, yep. She would push herself against the wall. She would kick me out of the bed, and I would have to roll at the same time and flop on my face. And then I would do like extensions. And then I would do a push-up and eventually be able to stand up. That would take another 5-10 minutes. So that was a fun time, like 3 months. So ART was a big thing to my heart that helped me really get back on my feet and moving again. That's why I went and learned it, and now I use it. Next up, how to supplement. My gym spotter is looking at a watermelon sock. It's an interesting question. So I guess how to supplement or how to look at supplements to benefit me. They're like icing on cake. It's delicious. The cake is still good though. So with supplements, you've got fish oil, magnesium, this Trigana, B vitamins. You've got pre-workout, post-workout, intra-workout, nighttime shakes, GI Revive, Zemgest for gut, collagen now. You've got whey protein, you've got pea protein, rice protein. There's a lot of supplements out there. Fundamentally, for me, I love magnesium. I recommend everyone should take it to help with recovery, to help with relaxation and sleep. And then fish oil or krill oil or algae. I like to rotate oils because obviously increasing fats. And the idea of the fats is that you're increasing EPA and DHA. So they're the essential, like the oils that you're looking for to help with like aging, cognitive function, mobilizing fatty tissues, but also just better oils, which will help with your joint health. And then into the pre-workouts, intra-workouts, post-workouts. Not a huge fan, though I have been playing with pre-workout myself, but I use that more. So like Jocko Fuel. So if you're watching this, you can sponsor this. I like chlorine, magnesium, vitamin B, potassium, so caffeine, alpha GPC. So it's like the cognitive function, but they are like pre-workouts will have all this, which helps with fat burning potential. Though a lot of people wake up and they don't feel hungry, have first thing in the morning because that'll get you moving more. And if you're moving more, you're going to be burning more energy, and therefore, if you burn more energy, you can eat more. Aha, loophole. So I've been using that. Fasted for the first hour and a half before I eat a meal, and yeah, I like it. Gets me zoned in to get work done. Now, for the next one is my gym spotter is looking at my watermelon socks. Question is, number one, are you wearing watermelon socks or are you not? Because if you're not, that's a concern. Number two, if they're looking at your socks, are they complimenting you or are they not? If they're not complimenting you, why are they spotting you? Number three, hopefully they're still spotting you and not just being like, yep, you got it. And you're like, oh, you're like, help. You're like, I don't like your socks. You're like, oh my God, what the hell, man? So hopefully that's not the case, and it's one of the first two. Enjoy. How does data tracking and my progress monitoring play a role in my personalized training? Well, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you think about your finances, do you track them on a regular basis to know if you're in the positive or the negative? And if you're in the negative, you go, oh, I need to work a little bit harder. So what do? You work harder. If you're in the positive, you might go, I can relax a bit. If your goal is to make more money, what do? Keep working. Same with data tracking. So you could look at your sleep, also known as biofeedback markers, sleep, hunger, appetite, motivation, energy, your training performance. There's just a few, heart rate variability, blood pressure. You could also be looking at your bowel movements and also your libido. So these are some metrics you could look and you go, are they good? They're bad? Rate them out of 10. 10, beautiful, everything's great. If it's 7s or 8s, okay. If it's less than 6, you go, what is changing or what is going on? And that could indicate that maybe you've gone from 3 training sessions a week, you're right, I'm going to do 5. And you notice your metrics, boom, drop. That tells you, based off what you're doing for yourself and your body, isn't working for you anymore. So what you could do is you go, right, I'll go back to 3, or maybe I do 4. Or I might change the program and the volume to facilitate my needs. And that's how data and programming can help with training plans. Adios, amigos.